Well, here we are. It's Bible Plan, Bible Study, Devotional time. And there's only two more left in this one of the Ministry of the Holy Spirit. We are on number 30 right now. It is meekness, the fruit of the Spirit. Meekness, also translated gentleness, is primarily a response to God. It is a state of heart that not only acknowledges God's sovereign rule, but embraces his sovereign rule as good. A person with meekness does not blame God for undesirable circumstances, nor does he become angry with God when he does not get his way. Meekness must come from the power of the Holy Spirit. Contrary to meekness are despair, anger, wrath, impatience, anxiety, fear, and envy. Every time I read the list at the end of these readings, I realize there's a couple of them I really need to work on. I'll at least let him help me get through it anyways. As a reminder, I'm going to do Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law. Matthew 5:5. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. When it mentions when things don't work out our way and not to get mad at God, I think I have felt that way probably that's when my mom died. Just before she died. It was like an emotional roller coaster. And I remember praying so hard. But I wasn't really in a relationship with the Lord then. I was just praying because I didn't know what else to do. And I remember just praying and begging him to get her better and make her well. And then she ended up with another blood clot in her head. She didn't even leave the hospital yet. And then she had certain plans where she didn't want to live if she couldn't take care of herself or had to go in a home or anything like that. She had already planned out in her will, if this happens, I want to, die with dignity. But at that point in Canada, it wasn't legalized for anybody but just cancer patients that were dying. And so she just stopped eating. Every time they'd give her medication, she would spit it out as soon as they'd leave the room, and she wouldn't eat or drink or anything. So she'd made her mind up. Even though it wasn't all there, like she couldn't remember who I was, and we were close. And I remember just finding out that she had another blood clot. I had one clear day with her a month after she started with the blood clots to begin with, where she was more herself than I'd ever seen her in a month. And I guess that was just my last time to really enjoy our time together. And she started to forget me again, and they said, oh, she's got another one, and the other hospital won't take her back because there's nothing they can do to help her, and they don't know why she's got it. And so I remember praying to God, and I was so tired and so hurt because of what was happening to her. And one day I came walking in because every time I'd go to see her, I'd ask her, do you know who I am? And she'd go, mm. And then sometimes she looked at me like she couldn't stand me, And I remember walking in the house and just going, just take her if you're going to take her. And it wasn't long after that she did die, because if you don't eat or drink, you go actually quite quickly than you would think. And when I finally did get into a relationship with God, which was only about 3 years ago, I believe, or somewhere around there anyway. Last time I had prayed to him before that was when my husband was in intensive care. And he had bacterial meningitis, pneumonia. And they had him hooked up to machines to breathe for him and everything. And I remember just coming home and asking God to take me instead, that my husband actually enjoys life and I don't. And I went through depression and anxiety and stuff for a long time, many years. I was always on different kinds of pills and just, I wasn't happy. And I asked him to take me instead of him. And my husband ended up getting well, and I'm still here. So maybe I have a purpose that's more important than leaving right now. I'm lucky because he could have done it on a drop of a hat, And then I finally got into a relationship with the Lord. That was a couple years after that. So maybe he knew that I was going to come to him and seek him. And since then, I can't live without him, put it that way. I definitely want him in my life, and I will never walk away ever again. And that's a promise I gave him too. So I did get mad one time, yeah. I asked for forgiveness for all that, and since then, of course. But I was just bringing that up because of what I read to you guys just beforehand. Yeah, I've even done that. I'm not perfect. I told you guys I'm far from it. James 1:21. Therefore lay aside all faithfulness and overflow of wickedness, and receive with meekness the implanted word which is able to save your souls. And now we're on the last one. This is about self-control, which is another thing I need to work on. Which is often translated sober. Oh, okay. Really? I'm not a drunk or anything like that. So maybe I'm taking it the wrong way. Sober-mindedness that gives thought about acting before acting. Self-control, which is produced by the Holy Spirit, gives way to godly desires rather than sinful desires. A person with self-control looks to future and eternal realities rather than indulging immediate sinful impulses. Okay, yeah, so like when I get mad and angry and or irritated or defensive, I need to control those. Oh, I might feel it inside, but I got to learn to hold back. Like today. Okay, I'm going to go on. 1 Thessalonians 5. Therefore, let us not sleep as others do, but let us watch and be sober. For those who sleep, sleep at night, and those who get drunk are drunk at night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love as a helmet of the hope of salvation. 1 Peter 1. Here. Therefore, gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and rest your hope fully upon the grace that is to be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. And guess what? We're done. We're done. The one about the Holy Spirit. The next one is called Choose, deciding what to do, what Jesus did. And yeah, I think that you'll get a better idea on how things should really be compared to what you'll see all over TikTok half the time and YouTube. It just feels like a lot of candy coating, and I'm not pointing anybody out specifically or anything like that. But there are things in the Bible that tell you how Jesus did explain and teach us how we should live. And if we're not at least trying to do that, then what, he did this all for nothing, so we're going to go through all that starting tomorrow. And thanks for letting me talk your ear off. Goodbye for now.